Caterpillar by the Crazy Eights.
Once upon a time, there lived a very hungry caterpillar who didn't believe in himself. One day he called his mom and she said, "Why don't you go on an adventure to grow and become more professional?" This first step in communicating with his mom was growth in itself, and then he got hungry.
So he ate the phone. His first stop was the library. To enlighten himself, he decided to read and sat deep in thought about the book and how it might help him grow. All this reflecting just made him hungry.
So he ate the book.
Yeah.
Then he went for a walk outside and right away noticed the garden full of different flowers and how beautiful they all look together. He decides to use a piece of these resources as inspiration for his own growth. So he picks up a flower. Then he got hungry.
Then he ate the flower. After walking past the garden, he then stumbles upon a bird in a bird cage. He has always been afraid of this potential enemy, but his recent growth inspires him to take a risk. As usual, he started to feel hungry. Then the bird yelled, "Hey, you want some bird food?"
So he ate some bird food. Surprised by the bird's compassion, the two began talking as friends. "How about I teach you to fly?" the bird suggests. Before the caterpillar could hesitate, the bird put him in a rubber band and held him up with his beak. "You must stop squirming if this is going to work," the bird said. The caterpillar decided to collaborate, but then he got hungry.
Then the bird asked if he was ready to leave the cage and fly high in the sky. "Oh no, I'm not sure about this," the caterpillar cried. "I have high expectations for you. If you believe in you, you should believe in yourself," said the bird. Again, the caterpillar felt his stomach growl. The two friends flew away up high in the sky.
So he took a big gulp of confidence. Clear skies and the sun shining, the caterpillar realized that with the right time and conditions, high expectations, confidence, and collaborations, anyone can overcome challenges. He realized sometimes your own worst enemy can be yourself. The hungry caterpillar will never stop learning and growing, and then he got hungry. The end.
Caroline was frolicking through the forest, and all of a sudden she stumbled upon the entrance of a mysterious cave.
Caroline hadn't eaten all day, and she had just ran 8 miles, so she was starving. After going to the store and see if there was anything to eat, she walked in and saw 3 boxes of pizza. The first was cold cheese pizza. It was too plain and lacked the diversity she needed. The second was anchovy. It looked good to her, but when she thought about bringing it home to her prince dog, she realized it didn't work well with others.
The third box had veggies and pepperoni. This pizza was just right. It had both of the qualities and reminded her of professional literacy. She gobbled the pizza up and felt better immediately. After eating, she grew very tired.
She walked further into the cave and found 3 beds. She sat on the first bed. It was too hard and not flexible. The second bed was too small and didn't have enough room to grow and reflect. The third bed was just right. It was flexible and had room for her to grow and reflect as a lifelong learner. She laid down and fell asleep.
Suddenly, she awoke to a war. She opened her eyes and saw 3 red dragons hovering over her. The red dragons were furious and blew fire. Caroline screamed as they chased her around the cave.
Don't you wish?
She stopped and yelled out, "Please wait, don't be mad. I'm trying to help you find professional literacy in the forest of Oneonta. If we just work together and we can make a great team." The dragons finally saw what she was doing and decided to become Caroline's friends.
They lived happily ever after as lifelong learners. The end.
Once upon a time, there was a professionally literate princess named Carol. She came across a troll named Stinky. He lived under the bridge.
She asked him why he was stuck and why he could not cross the bridge to professionalism.
Paul said he could not access other people, places, experience, and resources outside of his routine environment. Because he could not reflect, he never saw his reflection in the river.
Carol explains that reflection comes from within. She tells the troll to sleep, to step back and think about himself, how he feels, and what he is doing.
Poof! Together now and the troll reflect and communicate their results with each other. They recognize their talents and are able to walk across the bridge.
By working together and learning from others, the troll was able to see his reflection in both the river and in himself. They crossed the bridge to professionalism and they lived happily ever after. The end.
That is heartless, ignorant, inflexible, and there's disunity.
And it's Queen Megan, Love Team Motivators. Once upon a time, there was a mean queen named Megan. She only focused on herself and her own good. She failed to recognize each individual's talents and unique lifestyles. The townspeople were feeling neglected and were ready for a change. They took a stand and came together to help start this change. Utilizing their individual aspects, they began to bloom, and now feel free to rinse. As a group, they decided John Bon Jovi should serenade the Queen to make her realize that she needs to change her unprofessional ways. She wants to be reminded how to be professional again. After looking in the mirror and talking to each townsperson, she finally changes her ways, and the kingdom is at peace again, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
Once upon a time, in the land before literacy, Bronto Baby was nervous for his upcoming Meet the Dinosaurs.
I don't know how to be professionally literate. There's going to be a lot of important dinosaurs there, he said. All of a sudden, fairy godmother hummingbird Camel Exley appeared. You think you know more than you think you do, and poof, Baby Bronto was on his way.
Baby Bronto appeared at Flavosaurus Flav's house. There he saw Flavosaurus Flav's wearing a giant clock around his neck. Baby Bronto realized that he wasn't looking or acting professional. Baby Bronto then began his journey to develop professional literacy.
Flavosaurus Flav asked Baby Bronto to help him on his journey. Baby Bronto started by giving him a tie in place of the giant clock. Appearance is very important when acting professionally, Baby Bronto said. Now he's professional.
Baby Bronto appeared in a pasture where two horses were arguing. Baby Bronto explained that communication and negotiation could solve their problems.
Baby Bronto came across a house. Animals were trying to decorate.
You switched some words around there. But Baby Bronto realized that the animals were not utilizing all of their members' talents. That's why the monkey's in the corner. They realized that the monkey could decorate higher up than the rest of the animals, and that he was a valued member of their team.
After this, Baby Bronto reflected to see that he was more professionally literate than he thought. Effective communication, proper dress, and language are all a part of being professionally literate.
The Red Ticket Road by the Woven Threads. Once upon a time.
I'm late for a very important class. How come no one reminded me? I need to learn how to communicate with my base group.
Here's my base group, Cinderella Steps a Third. Sawyer Rabbit, we need to learn to be advocates for others. We need a 101A.
I need to hear you.
Look, it's Shrek. He needs compassion. You should join us to find the road to 101A.
The 7 dwarves are all working in the forest. Too bad they're not working together. Maybe Shrek, the rabbit, and the stepsisters can help them.
They all walk together and search for the road. A snake comes to tempt them at the entrance. You don't need 101A, Fairy Carol. I can give you all you need.
I am so glad we weren't tempted by the snake. Here is the ticket road that will lead us to 101A.
Look, it's 101A. We have to work hard to become professionally literate with Fairy Carol's help.
Welcome to 101A. I am Fairy Carol. How can I help you? We need better communication to be advocates for others, to collaborate and to be compassionate. You need professional literacy, and you can find it in 101A.
And Carol, yes, we have found professional literacy. We can live happily ever after as good professionals.
Carol had one last wish, and that was to spread professional literacy to all of their friends. The end.
She wrote a story called The Wizard of Professional Literacy.
Once upon a time, a group of aspiring 18 mentors got caught in a tornado while riding their horses and ended up in Oneonta, New York. Scared and confused, they awoke and found themselves in a town full of children in need of teachers that are professionally literate.
Eager to be the best teachers they could be for the children, they wished for a way they could help. Suddenly, they came across the good witch, Julianne, who told them about a wizard who could help them gain all the skills of professional literacy. She told them to follow the snowy white road to get to the wizard. Excitingly, they began their journey. While walking, they found all the teens of Mentor Community who also wanted to become professionally literate.
Suddenly, while walking along the snowy white road, an evil warlock named Ethan appeared. He said, "You will never be able to become professionally literate." He said, "You will never be able to become professionally literate because you can't communicate clearly or accurately."
Good job, Ethan.
Ethan, the warlock, said, "Communication will be the key to finding the answer to this joke. I'll let you go on and meet the Wizard of Literacy. What cheers you up when you are sad?" The 18 members and the mentors reflected and discussed all the possible answers to the joke. Finally, they came up with the answer. A gentleman's pie. Ethan let them pass, and they continued on their way to meet the wizard, having unknowingly already gained the skill in professional literacy.
After more journeying down the road, they found themselves at the edge of a poppy field right in front of the wizard's castle. The 18, followed by the rest of Mentor Community, had never been in a poppy field before. They walked through it, gaining the skill of being able to access new people, places, experience, and resources outside of their own knowledge.
Finally, they arrived at the wizard's castle. They are introduced to Mrs. Exley, the wizard of professional literacy. After a lot of training and reflecting, the 18 Mentor Community became the professionally literate teachers the children needed to be.
Yeah.
Adventure in professional literacy.
Once upon a time, a young girl named Jen traveled a long road to SUNY Oneonta to start her lifelong journey.
On her first day at the castle, she met Queen Carol. Queen Carol immediately granted the young girl the conditions for learning.
The young girl learned about professional literacy through the magical experience called Dungeon 106. This offers the life-changing experience of Mentor Community.
After completing her majestic educational cookbook, she was accepted into the royal court of Team Rugrats. Here she met 7 royal families from around the world.
At her first meeting at the Craven Castle, she was presented with an abundance of professionally literate qualities.
Over the course of 2 years, the young girl developed into the best pre-service teacher of all the land. In May, Jen will finally be crowned by Queen Carol. Closing this chapter only opens more doors to her future as an educator. And this book was dedicated to Jen Austen, who's obviously blessed us to student teach.
No.